the cottage industry, like the small, medium, the very micro size companies, they're making chicken, pop-off, and whatnot, small chops. We also, control them or regulate them. What they should do in their homes is to separate where they are making the food for sale, separate it from the family
Okay.
uh,
Cooking.
cooking area. You know. For example, for mothers, you have children that are going to school, you can schedule when you are going to be in the kitchen. In the kitchen utensils, the utensils that you're going to use for the food that you're going to sell must be different from the ones that you're using for your family.
Okay.
But in terms of time, if they close at 3 o'clock or whatever, schedule your time between 10 and 2 so that you can focus. And when we get there, we're going to make sure that you have plan, that you are not just putting everything anywhere. If you have stacks of utensils, you keep them clean, you know where they are, you can even label them in your own kitchen.
Yes.
Because when you come to look at the economy of Nigeria, the MSMEs are the ones driving our economy.
Yes, they are.
So we take a lot of importance. We put a lot of emphasis on MSMEs, especially the micro small businesses. So in terms of food safety, it starts from the home, but it starts from the individual. You go to the toilet, you have to wash your hands.
Yes.
You've got to wash your hand. People that don't wash their hands, they're going to get ill. And it is one thing or the other, one thing leading to the other. Once there's no hygienic practice in the home. Again, I understand about different utilities that may not be available. If you don't have running water, make sure you have a drum where you can flush the toilet, because hygiene is so important. Once it gets into the food, it makes people sick. So the food you eat will determine who you are.
Wow.
In terms of day-to-day activities.
Yes.
And the better food you eat, the less medicine you use. So food and drug, they are tied together.
Oh, this is so fantastic. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much, man. Not only have you, and you narrowed it down, you broke it down, you gave practical examples of how these things can be done. It's one thing to say be hygienic, but how exactly, what are you talking about? You took your time to address individuals, home, and the small and medium, especially micro and small enterprises. Thank you very much, Ma. And then our next question was going to say, okay, we've been having different outbreaks of diseases, and it's actually, we just want you to address it, like let people know, like, can food safety, because everything you've talked about now, and like you said, the basis of food safety is actually hygiene, hygienic practices. So can food safety be used to prevent the recent, to prevent outbreak of diseases? We've had cholera, we've had diphtheria, is it possible, Ma, to use the act of food safety to prevent these diseases? And how, if it is?
That's a very, very good question. And I want to use the example of water.
Okay.
You have a baby. You don't boil the water, and you use the water to make the food for the baby. Very likely the baby will be ill.
Yes.
And their body is so small that any bacteria that enters into their body can really do damage very quickly. If that child has cholera or start vomiting and whatnot, the child may die. That is why foodborne disease is at the back of our minds when we do all these activities that we do, whether it's for children or for adults. I've talked about vegetables. I've talked of other foods. there are many bacteria, different types of bacteria that can be ingested. Listeria, Salmonella, Vibrio, all those things can be injected because we are not being hygienic or we are not practicing using good hygiene. There have been, let's say, the cold cut in the supermarket that you use for sandwiches. If the cold cut is not well preserved, people can have listeria and hundreds may die. That is why it is extremely important to know that it's not just one person that may die, that can die. Hundreds may die, depending on the source. Salad, the lettuce, you've got to wash the lettuce very, very well before you cut them into pieces for salad and whatnot. So these are examples of foodborne diseases or sources of foodborne diseases. It is all about being aware, being sensitive to the fact that there may be other things that you don't see that are in the food. Another silent killer that's